Hey drivers, Brian here, your honest mechanic. Today we're looking into a topic that doesn't get nearly enough attention, the hidden problems with stop-start systems. It's in almost every new car these days, but is it really as great as it sounds? Let's break it down. First off, let's talk about what this tech is supposed to do. The idea is pretty simple. When you stop at a light, your engine shuts off to save fuel and reduce emissions. Sounds great on paper, right? But as with most things, the reality is a bit more complicated. Let's start with the biggest concern I see: wear and tear. Now, car manufacturers will tell you they've beefed up the starters and batteries to handle all this extra work, and sure, they have. But here's what they're not telling you. Number one, oil pressure issues. Think about this for a second. Every time your engine starts up, there's a brief moment where oil pressure hasn't fully built up. In a normal car, this happens maybe once or twice a day, but with start-stop, we're talking dozens of times in a single commute. That adds up, especially on turbo engines where that hot oil is crucial for cooling. Number two, battery and starter problems. Yes, these cars use special AGM batteries and heavy-duty starters, but guess what? Those parts cost way more to replace. I'm talking 2 times more than regular parts, and trust me, they don't last 3 times longer. Now let's talk about real-world issues most drivers face. First, engine restart delay. You're sitting at a light, it turns green, you hit the gas, and wait for it. Finally, the engine starts up. This can be particularly frustrating in heavy traffic or when making quick turns. While modern systems have reduced this delay, older or budget vehicles may still experience noticeable lag. Second, the AC problem. Your AC compressor typically runs off the engine. When the engine stops, so does your AC. Yeah, some newer cars have electric compressors, but most don't, so you're sitting there in summer traffic getting baked just to save a few cents on gas. Let's talk about the savings, because that's why these systems exist, right? Most studies show about a 10% fuel savings in heavy city driving. Sounds good until you do the math. On a typical car getting 30 mpg, driving 10,000 miles a year in the city, you're saving maybe $133 a year in gas at $4 per gallon. But here's the kicker. One replacement AGM battery can cost you more than a regular battery. So there goes a couple years of fuel savings right there. Now here's my take on the auto start-stop system. Number one, if you're buying a new car with this system, check if it can be permanently disabled. Some can, some can't. Number two, if you have a car with start-stop, be strategic. In stop-and-go traffic, maybe that's a big maybe, leave it on. Quick stops or hot weather, consider turning it off. Number three, and this is important, if you plan to keep your cars long-term, budget for those more expensive replacement parts and change your oil frequently. Bottom line, start-stop technology isn't all bad, but it's not the amazing fuel saver it's marketed to be. It's really just car manufacturers trying to meet emissions requirements in the cheapest way possible. And guess who ends up paying for it in the long run? Yep, you do.